Hey everybody, welcome to a live we're doing. You know who I am, Rob Kowalski. This is my beautiful wife, Sana. And we are here in Punta Cana, Dominican Republic. Just got down here, day before yesterday?
Yeah, Tuesday.
We were here for
No, Wednesday.
Tuesday.
Tuesday.
Tuesday. We were here for 22 days, so probably about 20 days left. And we're going to talk a little bit about why we came down and what we're doing down here. But we really wanted to get into a situation that happened recently. A girl that had DM'd me and was, expressing interest to join our family, and just some of the emotions that stirred up and how we resolved them. I think it would be really helpful for some people out there that are exploring this topic. So I'm grateful that you joined us. We're going to try to do these vlogs a little bit more regularly. I think we're going to call it Real Talk on Biblical Marriage. I like to talk.
If you have another suggestion, let us know too.
Yeah, any other suggestions, let us know. Drop them in the comments. Actually, if you have any questions or takeaways from today, please leave them in the chat, because we'll go through and we'll try to answer the questions if we have time. We only have about 35 minutes today for this video. But one thing I wanted to do is, before we dive into it, if you hear anything, if you hear any quotes or you see any little clips, timestamps, that would be good to share. I would love for your feedback, because we are trying to expose this truth about biblical marriage and expose the false monogamy-only marriage doctrine lie, if you want to call it that. So any help would be appreciated. Sometimes people will leave a timestamp and I'll go back and I'm like, yeah, that was good. And I'll cut it into a shorter video and put it on some of the other platforms. So if you see something, we'd love your help. But let's go ahead and dive into it. We have a few people on here now. Do me a favor, drop a comment, say hello. Let us know where you're watching from. It'll help trip the algorithm, help more people see it. YouTube or Facebook will show it to more people if they see people commenting. So just say hi, hit that thumbs up button or the heart button. And I think we're about ready to dive into it. So you want to talk about, we could talk about why we're in the DR first, and then we'll get into the other stuff. Okay, good. So we came down, like we said, on Tuesday. This is the second year in a row we've done this.
Last time we weren't married, though.
Yes, last time we weren't married, so we weren't allowed to, do some of the fun stuff. But we spent a month in Costa Rica, and it was just a great time. Just worked. We both work remotely, and we have the freedom to be able to do it. So we're really good at balling on a budget. That's the term that we used the other day we posted. So everything from how we get our flights, I was able to purchase the flights on miles. The place where we stay, nice place, but not a resort, because Airbnbs are so much cheaper. And then if you stay for a longer period of time, you can negotiate a discount. And then transportation. We got a scooter for $10 a day. We have this little scooter that we were riding around yesterday. And then we brought our own food, because food's a lot cheaper in the States for us. So we brought our own food. Literally, we brought 3 suitcases full of food. I mean, because we're just really trying to, be able to treat ourselves to opportunities like this, but also be able to invest in our future. That's why we could stay in a resort. We could eat out
every day.
Yeah, we could eat out every day if we wanted to, but we choose to do it this way because we got a plan, So, and that actually is one of the things that we're doing while we're down here. Let me know if you can see and hear me okay. Just make sure that everybody can see and hear me okay. I have my tech challenges. Okay, yes, you can. I see somebody tuned in from Concerned Patriot. Shalom. Good to see you guys this morning. Saw some of your stuff with Pete. It was good stuff. Thank you for that, Concerned Patriot. Got somebody here from South Carolina. Got
yeah, somebody says it sounds good too.
My homeboy Ryan Ridgely watching from the gym. Get it, son. We'll talk a little bit about the coaching program too before we jump off of this. So one of the things that we do while we're down here is we kind of, going away and getting a change of pace and a change of space, different surroundings, and just getting off your regular routine. It really helps you get fresh eyes, helps us just kind of recharge for the year. But then we also map out our year. We actually sit down, we go through a process that we teach in our coaching program of how to identify what you're going to invest your time and energy in 2025. So, just for her and I, getting into alignment, what we both want, where we see, our lives going, and what we call is our vital 3, the 3 big things that we want to accomplish for the year. And it's a process to identify those, because you have to kind of whittle down on it and focus. So that's one of the things that we'll be doing here, and I'm pretty excited about it. We're doing that tomorrow. We're doing our annual planning. What else? Why do you like coming down?
Probably the same reasons. I mean, also escape the cold, but that's not the main reason. That's a huge bonus for sure. Definitely, like I always find that whenever you're in a different place, your mind you get more inspired.
Yeah.
I would say, like it just takes you a little bit out of your regular routine, and it makes you feel more, more like you feel more inspired. You get new ideas, you get new inspiration, all the things. That really helps me.
Good. Yeah. I feel all the same things. So it's great. We're very grateful
And it's a blessing to.
It's a huge blessing to be able to be down here and see it. Neither one of us have ever been here before. So just to see a new place and Dominican Republic's beautiful. Weather's great. Very, very inexpensive. Everything that we find is very cheap. Far cheaper than Costa Rica, although I love Costa Rica. This is so far so good. So we'll keep you posted. We'll be posting a lot of stuff while we're down here. But really, kind of the main thing that we wanted to get onto today was recently there was a girl, a woman, should I say, that messaged me. She DM'd me and expressing interest in joining my family. She wanted to know some about the coaching program, but she was really kind of like, I would really like one-on-one coaching with you, and I have a crush on you, and some of this language. And one of the ways that we are vetting potential sister wives is sending them into the coaching program, because for me, it's like, I want to see if they're serious. Will they actually fill out the application? Will they get on a call with her and I? Will they show up for that first ladies group call, and then getting feedback from everybody else and like, what do y'all think of this girl? Is she a viable candidate? So, I think the word says that there's wisdom in the counsel. There's wisdom in the counsel of many. I might have butchered that, but it basically something about not just trying to figure it all out on your own, get advice from different sources.
Well, and also, like, if it's not for our family, then
exactly. And that's another thing, because not every woman that expresses interest is your future wife. She may be another man's future wife in our program. So, and we really are trying to do our best. Like, I don't want to marry anybody else's wife, right? I only want what God has for me. I'm not trying to be like greedy and try to make something happen. Like, that's the worst thing you can do, for your future, really. So we invited her into the program, and but I wanted to talk a little bit about some of what happened after that. After we had this first call with her, I want to tell you a little bit about how that went, and then tell you some of the feelings that it stirred up in Sana, and then how we resolved them. So actually, well, yeah, go ahead. And then I'm going to read you a message that I sent inside our coaching program, to the other men, because I was actually just trying to get advice from them of if I handled this right. So
all right, let me back up for a second, because I'm trying to get into like how it kind of like make a story how it happened so people follow.
Yeah,
right?
You want me to start with the messages, or do you want to?
Well, let's just okay. So this girl approached you, right? Like,
yeah.
And there were like a few. I don't want to go into all that, but there were like a few things that were like a little bit like off, but she showed up eventually for the intake call.
About 5 minutes late. Yeah.
Okay. No, I mean not eventually. Like, yeah. Okay.
Okay. Got it.
Anyway, she showed up for the
intake call, which is where we just kind of try to get a feel if this is right for them, if they have any problems, or are they a good fit for the program? That's all we're trying to ascertain. Yeah.
So, and then she showed up with a certain attitude, I should say, like, and she had that attitude before too on the message. So Rob had been like very honest, like he said like, oh, this girl like expressed interest, and he showed me the message. It's not like he was keeping anything from me or anything. So, and he said like, oh yeah, I asked her to fill it out. She showed up, but she had this very like certain attitude towards him.
Explain it exactly.
Well, basically she was like flirting with him on the call, like dropping her camera a little bit.
She actually had her at some point, and it may have just been an accident,
maybe.
But she had her camera like this, like right on her boobs, and Sana was like, now I can't see her face. She said, she kind of called her out.
Well,
anyway,
I mean,
but
to me, I'll give her the benefit of the doubt here, but I also know how girls work, right? Like, I'm a girl myself. I know how we like try to flirt us. And it was not only this occasion. I'm not being paranoid here. Like there were like multiple things like leading up to this. So after school, I felt a lot of anxiety and stuff like that. And I was really trying to think where this was coming from, because like I'm definitely an emotional person, but I'm also very reflective. So whenever I feel something, I try to sit with it, really try to reflect. Like I really also try to think, where is this coming from? Because I do believe a lot of your things that you just feel on the surface, it has like a deeper root to it. So I was kind of thinking that. And first I thought, sometimes it's double for me, because he has been very honest from the very, very start. Our first conversation ever was about polygyny. It's never even been a question in my mind, like if this was not gonna go this way.
If it was permissible, at least it's definitely, she knows it's my right if this is what God wants to do.
Exactly. Yeah. So, but that's been clear from the very beginning.
Yes.
So I was like, is it about that? I was like, no, I don't think it's about that. But I was wondering, like, okay, where does this feeling come from? So first I thought, like, maybe it's him. I need more reassurance. Like, he's never gonna leave me. He's never
gonna be dishonest or deceptive. I'm not gonna cheat.
Exactly. Be dishonest to me.
Right. I'm not gonna be unfaithful. That doesn't mean there won't be other wives, but I'm not gonna lie and hide things. Is what I've told her. But I could see that she was struggling. I could see that she had something going on, and then I asked her about it, and she's like, basically I think first it started with, you had trouble sleeping that night, and then the next day I could see that she still had the thoughts going, and I asked her about it, and that's kind of where we were able to get into some of what was going on. And she and kind of where we landed was, she's like, asked to see the messages that transpired between me and the girl after the call. She's like, because I told her, I said, I don't know if she said, have you heard from her? And I said, yeah, we've been messaging. And she was like, didn't ask to see him right away, but then later she's like, I want to see him. Now, this happened once before. There was another girl early on. We weren't even close to, I don't think we were engaged at that point. No, that was, being very flirty and expressing interest, and it got her feeling insecure, and she asked to see the messages. Well, actually, I think you came up and you just kind of took my phone, and I was like, I want to see your message. I was like, back off. I was like, first off, that's the wrong.
No, it was like, I asked if I could see the message, and he said, yes, you can. Like, I can always access his phone. I know his code. It's never like he's hiding anything from me. I could, any time of day, I could just grab it. And he said that time, he said, like, you can have him. And then I was like, no, I'll trust you. And then all of a sudden I was like, I need to see that. And I just grabbed your phone.
Yeah. And I said, that's the wrong energy to bring into this. I was like, I'll show you my phone, but I don't owe you it. I don't have to. I mean, I firmly believe God gave me her. He didn't, she's mine, and she can't be necessarily jealous of what she doesn't own. I know that sounds terrible to women, and unfortunately that's what the way the Bible spells it out. And so I want her to trust me, but I also don't want her to think that she's somehow, taking control of the relationship. So in that case, I showed her the messages. She saw, it actually made her feel so more secure, because she saw I wasn't lying about anything. I wasn't being disrespectful.
Because that was like, that's something I told him too. It's not, I'm not trying to dictate here. I'm not trying to tell you like, oh, you can't say this or you should say this, but I was feeling insecure to some level, because I kind of just wanted to see how he handled it, because he tells me this stuff, right? Like, yes, I'm gonna do this, and I would never do this and that, but it helps me to actually see it.
Yes.
Too.
So anyway, so I showed her the messages before, made her feel more secure. So this time again, that this situation came up, she's like, I'd like to read the messages between you and her. And I said, I don't mind showing you the messages, because I don't have anything to hide, but I also wonder where it's coming from, because that tells me that we have a lack of trust. And that's the more concerning issue. So what I did was I sent a message. I ended up letting her read the messages, and it did exactly what it did before. Made her feel more secure, made her see that I wasn't lying about anything. I wasn't being disrespectful. Anytime even the conversations come up with the girl, it's always about Sana and I. It's not, and I think that is a big thing where women get hung up with, because they come in at monogamy only is like a 2-seater car. So of course, if the guy pulls over and there's another woman on the side of the road hitchhiking, he pulls over, that means she's got to get out. That's not the mindset with polygyny. Like, and that's, I think a lot of it isn't necessarily exclusivity that they're worried about. It's insecurity that they lose their spot. Right. And that's what I try to let her know. No one's ever going to come between us. No one's going to change what we have. It's only going to be to add to what we have going on and to help us build and go further, faster. I'm not going to invite chaos into my home or my family. And I think, but I still think a lot of women, because they were raised in a monogamy only culture, they still bring that insecurity because they think they're getting kicked out of the car when that's not it at all. So
yeah, I think that's right. And it's also a little bit about, I think we've all been there as women where men say one thing and then they do another thing. So it's kind of like, it's like you kind of want to see like both words and actions. Does that make sense?
Yes. I just want to call out a couple of haters on here, guys, and you can feel free to respond to these people if you like. But Leah Taylor said, where's she at? Let me see if I can find this comment. This marriage is the opposite of what God intends. Your marriage will not last long. First off, I'm guessing, are you married? Are you divorced? Have you ever fornicated, or have you fornicated recently? I'd be curious, because that is the fruit of monogamy only. What God intended was exactly what the word says. Go back and read. The Bible doesn't, Old Testament doesn't contradict itself from the New Testament. I'm sorry to burst your bubble, but all the passages that you'll bring up in the New Testament, and whoever this person is, John Easton, that's somehow linking monogamy with faith in Christ. Do you see this? They're not Christians. So hold on. If you don't believe in monogamy only, you're not even a Christian. This is what Jesus said when he said, you shut the door of heaven in people's faces. You don't enter yourself, and you refuse people that are trying to enter. You are the modern day Pharisee. Just letting you know, John Easton, if you really want to research this topic, I challenge you to do it. Go to all the places that we provided. You can just go through the comments on my videos and see that the verses from the New Testament have been debunked many, many times. You just haven't peeled back the layer. You're just looking at the very surface and realizing that, we live in a time where the Bible was translated by people from monogamy only cultures, the Romans. So anyway, I'm sorry to go off on a tangent, but I just, honestly, remove yourself from my channel. Do me a favor, just remove yourself from my channel. Anyway.
Or try to learn.
Or try to learn, and don't be negative. And don't speak death into my life. Like, your marriage will not last long. Look, have you seen the stats of monogamy only? Have you seen what's going on in the world? Anyway, all right, let's get into it. So back to where we were with the girl. I'm sorry to go off on that. I just can't stand people like that are haters. Look, Aubrey Killian and his wife just had on Rogenet on the last episode. They've been married, 18 years, very happy, lots of kids. Go back and watch that episode. How did their marriage last long? I know dozens of families like them through Biblical Families and other organizations that I've been privileged enough to be exposed to. And these people are very happy. And I know a lot of broken marriages and unhappy people in monogamy. Not that there's anything wrong with monogamy, but monogamy only is not biblical. So go research this for yourself. Now back to what we were saying. Where do we leave off with the girl?
So I saw the messages. You even asked the guys in the group.
Yeah, that's what I wanted to read. I wanted to read the message to the guys.
It's like there's one little part where which I wish you could skip over. Is that okay?
Sure. Okay.
Can you leave this out?
Okay, yeah. All right. So here's the message I sent to the guys in my coaching program. I wanted to get your thoughts. It says, gentlemen, I wanted to get your thoughts on something, particularly from those of you already walking in polygynous marriages. Yesterday, San and I got an intake call with a girl who reached out to me via Instagram. She's attractive and she seemed genuinely interested in the idea of joining our family. One of the ways I'm vetting women right now is by inviting them into the coaching program. It gives me a chance to see if they're serious about learning this lifestyle, and lets others in the group get their feedback as well. After the call, I could tell Sana was struggling. We talked and she admitted she was feeling insecure.
Okay.
I've reassured her that I'm not like that. I'll never cheat on her. I'll never leave her, that this is a different world than the monogamy only world she came from. She had trouble sleeping last night, and this morning she told me she was feeling anxious about the girl we spoke with. She asked if she could see the messages between her and me that followed the call. Now, I've got nothing to hide. I've been upfront with her from the beginning about how this journey is likely to unfold, and I'm letting the Spirit lead me, which she knows. That said, I'm torn about whether I should share my messages with her when she asks. On one hand, I don't believe she has the right to be jealous or monitor me. On the other hand, I want her to trust me, to know I'm not hiding anything, and to feel secure in how I'm handling this. This isn't the first time this has come up. I kind of told you guys about that. I'm going to skip over that part. But it's got me wondering, where do you guys stand on this? Do you think a man should share his messages or private communications to help his wife feel secure? I think about something that Aubrey Killian shared with us, that there are no locked doors in his home. If one wife wants to enter the bedroom, even if it's not her night, she's free to do so. But he also said that if it becomes a pattern, he'd want to address the root issue. In Sana's case, I believe the root issue is a lack of trust, not because of anything I've done, but because of a past relationship. I'm trying to be patient with her. She works through this. It's not a struggle for me to share the messages because I've always maintained good frame. There's no fear on my part, but I also don't want to give her or any woman the impression that we're equal or that she has the power over me. What are your thoughts? How do you balance providing reassurance while maintaining your role as the head? And this, that last part where I said, well, it goes into frame, and we can talk a little bit about frame if we have time on this, or maybe we'll do a future video about that. But this was the video.
Aren't you also going to do a podcast on that?
Yes, actually, yes, that's a great point. We have something that we just launched. So there's a couple things I want to tell you about real quick. One thing is called the Man of Options podcast. We just started piloting it. This is Aubrey, Ryan, a guy named Jeff Varga, and myself. And it really is about, a large part of it's going to be about exposing the monogamy-only marriage lie, but it's also going to be about just exposing false doctrine. Most Christians, even people like whoever this Leah Taylor or whatever her name is, and John Easton, I don't want to call you a fool, but you don't even probably know the biblical definition of adultery because it was never taught to you. And you've never researched it. You're just believing everything that the man at the pulpit says, like I did for 23 years. I'm not trying to say I'm better than you. It's only about a year and a half ago that I realized that I was being lied to. But you haven't researched it yet. You're just parroting what was taught to you or told to you without actually being like a Berean and researching scripture to see what it says for itself, because it's not hard to find the truth if you actually just look. You got to take off the monogamy only glasses for a second, and then look with, try to be completely neutral. And then I believe it's impossible to miss. Now, so the Man of Options podcast is about talking about these things that the mainstream church just isn't talking about. So this Monday, we're going to have an episode called Who Wears the Pants? We'll be talking a lot about frame. We'll be talking about a lot about why there are so many men that are caught in sexless marriages and why women are filing for divorce at record numbers, because men have lost frame. They have lost, they're not wearing the pants. So we're going to be talking about that on this Monday's episode. Subscribe to my YouTube channel if you're not already. Maybe hit the bell notification so that you get a reminder when we go live. But that'll be Monday at 6 p.m. Eastern. I'm looking forward to that episode. So we'll see if the Man of Options podcast, if we get a good response, we get good feedback, we'll continue it and it'll become a regular thing. But right now we're just kind of testing the waters. I also want to mention real quick before we move back to the discussion, the coaching program. We have a coaching program called Maxima Potentia, and I don't think there's anything else like it in the world. This is for people that want to pursue, practice, just maybe learn more about biblical marriage. Biblical marriage can be monogamy, but it can also mean polygyny. And then how to navigate that, which one's right for you, how to navigate whatever path God takes you down successfully, because, we live in a world where it would be very easy to make mistakes as you try to do this. So we're learning from some great men. Son and I are part of the leadership, but we also have people that have been walking biblical marriage out for many years. One guy in the program actually he's married to 4 women. He added 3 babies to his family last month. 3 of his women gave birth in 1 month. Yeah, so he's a very smart guy, Hell's Angel or something. I mean, he's and loves the Lord. So if you want to know more about the coaching program, we'd love to tell you. We can jump on a quick call. You can fill out the application at the link in this description of this video, and Ryan and I will book a call with you, and we'll see if it's a good fit for you, men or women. We actually have even single ladies in there that are just learning more about biblical marriage because they've never even heard that this was an option. They're just out there vying for the scraps, and then they realize, wait a second, I could join the home of a godly man who treats his wife well and has already got a successful, proven track record. That's an option. Well, and even if some women are like, well, I don't know if that's true. Is that really biblical? Well,
exactly. So
welcome to the program.
Yeah, exactly. We have a lot of discussions too for women. It's not like all women are 100% on board with this at all. We're all struggling with things of our own, and we really talk to this. Can we hide this message?
Yes.
Or hide this comments?
Go ahead.
Not this comment.
Oh, sorry about that. Yeah, don't want to
keep that up. Okay, good. Because we only have about 10 more minutes.
Yeah, we got about 10 more minutes, guys. So if you have any questions, feel free to drop them, but we'll have about 5 minutes for Q&A.
Yeah, well, let's finish this story that we were telling. So then one of the guys dropped a comment back, right? Like, so Rob dropped that comment that he just read in the group.
And this is the guy that has 4 women that I was just telling you about, added 3 babies to his home. But he says a little bit, okay, let me just read it to you. Being the head means that you have the final word when there's conflict, and she will abide by that word. The real struggle is to maintain balance. It's not wise to keep secrets, especially if you have nothing to hide. I know that's not your intention, but it is her concern. Show her the text messages and relieve her of that concern. In due time, she will stop asking. I say that because you said it's insecurity that causes her to ask rather than a power struggle. And that was the key issue, because I didn't want it to be about power. If she's just trying to trust me, that's fine, as long as she's not trying to take power. There will be times that it'll be necessary to keep a secret, but those times should not be when a potential second wife is concerned prior to her becoming a wife. If you allow anything to feed distrust between them, they will tear your house apart. That said, they both must accept that they are here to serve you so that you can become a better servant of God. If serving you requires that they have to betray the other in a small way, such as keep a secret for the good of the whole family, they have to accept that, but not before they have an unbreakable level of trust between them. So that was kind of the message. I thought it was good advice. I think you really hit the nail on the head when he said, that it was more about insecurity than a power struggle, because that really was about at the root of my questioning, should I show her the messages or not? And
so that
when I acknowledged.
I'll talk about that. Like this is where I'm going. So like he shared that, and then he shared that comment with me too. And then again, I laid awake at night and I couldn't sleep. And I had a cry though, because he showed me, and I do trust him. And then it got back to like even that message rang a little bit in my eyes. I was like, well, the thing is though, I don't trust. It's not that I don't trust him. I don't trust her. Like yet at least. And I was like thinking, like, I feel this very strong feeling of competition right now. And I'm not talking anxiety, like competition anxiety, which I think could be a beneficial thing for women in a relationship. We can talk about that another time. I do think a healthy amount of anxiety can be good, but this was like strong anxiety and a lot of competition. And that was because of those reasons that I just told her, like the way she came about it. And I was thinking, we have done this exercise too in our coaching program for the women, and where you had to make your avatar, we call it, or like basically a script of your ideal sister wife. And my ideal sister wife would be somebody that I can trust, that I don't feel threatened by the whole time, and that is somebody who adds to our family and brings value in our family, and that can do stuff that I can, that can be like a wife to him, like with like talents and gifts, and
a helpmate.
Yeah, helpmate to him.
Yeah. And there was a girl that messaged me a while back that really had all that. She had the perfect attitude. Sana said she'd be the perfect sister wife as far as her attitude. And we prayed about it, and God just didn't say anything.
Exactly.
But the beauty of it is she actually came into our program. She's been a member of our coaching program, and now she's in a relationship. So we're very happy for you.
Months.
Yeah, within a few months, hopefully moving towards marriage. We'll see. But
so I mean, and I was thinking like the difference with that girl and this girl, and how I felt in all that. And I was like, well, I felt a strong competition. So I went, like the next morning, I said, like, I feel like she, and the thing is that I had tried to bring it up to him before, like I can see what she's doing here, I can see what she's doing there, but he is more positive towards new situations than I am in general. So he is like just giving her the benefit of the doubt, and that made me feel even more uneasy because I was like, well, I'm trying to bring up concern, but it almost seems to me like he's not seeing it. Mm-hmm. So I went back to him and said, like, listen, this is stuff that I worry about and like that I see, and I just want you to.
I think I actually pulled you aside and said, "Hey, listen, I want you to know I see these things that you're saying. I acknowledged her feelings because I was like, okay, look, she right here, she left an eye roll emoji. And right here, she said, "No, I don't want to talk to Sana one-on-one." And basically, I insisted, "No, if this is, it doesn't matter what you want."
Yeah. So there was already some stuff that I had been feeling, and there were actually more occasions that I didn't even know about that. So we talked about it, and you showed me.
Yeah, I acknowledged her feelings, and it automatically dissipated. All those feelings of anxiety just kind of went away. And
that was exactly, because then I was thinking, like, after he was like, "Listen, baby, I see it. Like, I see what she's trying to do, and I will not allow it." Even so, he had already called it out himself. Like, you had already said.
Yeah, and the messages I already told her. I was like, "Listen, because she filled out the application stating that she was, seeking biblical marriage and become a sister wife. There's different boxes on the application that you can check, and she expressed that. But then her messages and stuff were kind of communicating. She was like almost trying to pull me away from Sana. And honestly, and this would be a whole nother video, but I do think that that's a natural thing for women, because what they do is they test the man to see if he's serious about his resolve for this particular topic, especially can they move him off of it. She tried to do it to me early on, where she was basically trying to tell me to stop posting about polygyny, or not in so many words. And I think women do that, and I've seen that many times with men in the program, where they have to know, like, listen, if God calls me to this is where I'm going. I would hate to lose you. It would break my heart, but I'm going either way. That's what they need to hear. That's what a woman needs to hear. And I think women respect that, because they know that man, his yes means yes and his no means no. And that gives a woman confidence. It makes her feel secure, because she knows that he, can't be swayed. He can't be moved around by the opinions of others. So, and now, of course, that woman doesn't have to choose to marry that man, right? She could go marry any, if there's a line of men waiting for her, which there very well may not be in this day and age, but she gets to choose who she follows. But she wants to follow a man whose yes means yes and his no means no. And I think that actually gives them a little confidence. And I think it's actually great for your sex life too, because women are very sexually attracted to a man that has frame. That's another conversation. You got to go?
Almost. Okay. 5 minutes.
Do we want to take any questions?
Let's just finish. Well, anyway, like my conclusion here, though, like I just wanted to add that is that, so as soon as he said that, like he acknowledged my feelings and like, look, I got it. And he also told her very clearly, and he had already told her, like, listen, Son is not going anywhere. Like, she is my wife. And also I will not let any girl in who divides my family. So like, I understand that this might be new to you and you might have to overcome some jealousy on your part, but it's not like at some point you need to start working together. Like, I will not have divide. And that really helped me to be like, okay, he got this. Like, he sees what I'm seeing, basically. It's as if you're in a car and you feel like there's like this, how do you call this? Like a
guardrail, what?
Yeah, no, like where you can go get off the road, like
a ditch.
Yeah, like a ditch or so, like a deep ditch. And you're like, do you see the ditch? And he's like, no, it will be okay. And you're like, but if he says like, yes, I see the ditch, but I'm gonna steer us clear. I'm gonna be like, okay, I'll let you drive. You got this, right? So that's really how I felt.
Yeah, that's a great analogy. Let's look at some of the comments before you have to go. Okay. Let's see. Let's go back. I'm going to go back a little bit. Very encouraging. Thank you for that, brother. Appreciate that. School these fools. This is funny. I want to just point something out to you guys. I think you all have not read the Bible. Do you mean the Bible that was written primarily by men with multiple wives? I mean, you think for a second. You've been duped. Okay, let's keep going. There we go. I love this one. Thank you for that, Survivor. You leave some great comments. Keep it up. Exactly. You don't find it ironic that Jesus compares the second coming to a polygynous wedding in which he's the groom marrying 5 virgin brides? Come on, guys. Thank you for that. All right. Love it. Love it. I love that we have some people in the comments challenging false doctrine. Please speak up. Be bold. All right. What else do we got here? Oh, dang. Thank you. Whoa. I think that might be my first super chat on a live of my own. To be honest, thank you so much for that. Ignore the haters. Tell me, Rob, can you describe a day in the life for you, like your schedule? I want to be in control of my time like you with financial freedom. That's a great question, Dope Law. So one of the things is you gotta start a side hustle if you don't already have one. You gotta have a way that you're not exchanging your time for money. It would be even better if it's something that you're passionate about. It should be something that you're passionate about. You want to go?
Yeah, I want to go.
Go ahead.
I'm gonna hop off because I need to be on other coaching calls right now. It's good to talk to you. If you want to stay on, you can.
Yeah, I'm gonna stay on for a little bit.
Okay.
Thanks. All right. So, yeah, I mean, we have some exercises in the coaching program. Actually, I would love for you to fill out that application. Let's jump on a call and see if it's right for you. It's not expensive. We kept it very affordable because we just want to help people. But I started working with life coaches probably about 13 or 14 years ago. And it changed my life. I mean, I was just kind of drifting around before that, but there were some exercises that they gave me that pulled out. I mean, I think everybody's got a vision inside of them. And it just takes the right questions being asked and a little bit of self-reflection for you to figure it out. So, and then you got to get started. It is a process. It's not like something that you recognize all at once. And I'm going down a little bit of a tangent here, but it is something that as you take steps toward it, you uncover little by little, like a buried treasure. But you have to take action. Like God will show you a little bit, and if you start moving toward it, it'll get bigger and clearer as time goes. But so you got to have a side hustle. You got to have a way of making money that isn't just trading your time. If you're trying to do what you're saying here, to have that flexibility to be able to work remotely or whatever. And everybody's an expert at something. So coaching is a good thing. You can do courses if you have a specialty in something. But that would be my first recommendation, is to have something of your own, some kind of business or side hustle of your own. And I think content is a great way to educate people on that. Like I'm doing now, just getting on your phone and making good content for all the different platforms. Gary Vaynerchuk is the master of that. That's who I kind of learned everything from. And, those are probably the first 2 places I would start. I don't know, hopefully that answers your question, but look, again, I appreciate the super chat. If you want to fill out the application, Ryan and I will jump on a call with you. And at the very least, I will send you, I'll send you a couple of those exercises after the call. Even if you don't join the program, I'll give you those exercises free of charge. Okay. Okay, let's keep going. Let's see this one. Monogamy is rape, which is why it doesn't work, forcing women to marry the leftover losers they don't want. Harsh language, but not untrue. This is something. Leah, shut the hell up and send your husband to come talk to grown men. Look, this is what's funny is like, what about the part in the New Testament that tells you to be quiet and learn in all submission, or learn in all quietness, or whatever? You don't like that part? You like the part where it says own husband, own wife, but you don't like the part where it tells you you're not supposed to be on here challenging doctrine. That's not your place. Thank you for that call for wisdom. Appreciate that. Ryan said, you do not know the scripture. Stop being a troll. Study more. Study the word in the Hebrew and Greek and stop parroting the doctrines of men. Amen. Thank you. Peel a layer back, brother. Some harsh comments in here. How do Christian women, let's see. This is interesting. Okay, I'll pull this up. He said, I don't think a man should give his authority to a woman. She has to hand her phone to him, not the other way around. I do agree with that. I don't disagree. Now, I would say that the goal isn't to, walk around like King Dingaling and prove that you're the man of the house beating your chest. The goal is to have peace in your home, right? It's how you get there, though. And in this particular situation, again, it wasn't about her trying to take power. It was about the fact she was just feeling insecure. And so I said, listen, I don't have to do this. I'm going to do it because I love you and I want you to trust me. So you just have to take it on a case by case basis. I don't disagree with what you're saying, but I don't think it's always wise to be like, I'm the man and I don't have to do, show you anything, because the goal is to get your women to trust you, to know that you would lay down your life for them, to know that you're not being dishonest and you would, protect and provide for them. Are you done?
Not done. It's a great job. So
Okay, good.
I've got
All right,
some
good. Look who's back. All right, so we have a little bit more time here. Maybe what time is it now? We'll try to keep this under an hour if possible. Okay. This is good. Like he says, like I did for 40 years until I researched it for myself. I think that's the thing that people like Leah and John Easton are missing, is the fact is just about everybody in this chat was where you are until we researched it. So until you research it, just be quiet, because you're making yourself look uneducated. Now, if you researched it and you want to come back with some new information that we haven't already talked about, or questions 100 times, if it's the same old verses that have been, just go through the comments and you'll see the explanation. Or you can go to sites like BibleMarriages.org, BiblicalFamilies.org. They all have all the scripture there. It's all debunked. So do a little research for yourself. If you have new information, by all means, we're all here to learn. But if it's just the same old stuff, go back and read, please, first before commenting. Who is he talking about here? Who's a feminist?
I think he means me.
Feminism is an ideology. How's your wife a Christian and a feminist? She's the furthest thing from a feminist there is. She's the most submissive, feminine girl out there. I mean, she's traditional, believes in the roles of, I don't even know where you got that, but it's inaccurate. Let's see. Any questions before we jump off of here? We still got a few more comments to go through. This guy's John. You will be removed after this chat. You will be blocked. Randy, yes. What is your job? My income, my job profession. So I have some social media marketing clients that I pay the bills with, and I do a big New Year's Eve party in Baltimore every year that provides a substantial chunk of my income for the year. And then I make a little bit of money from the coaching program. I mean, we're just still, again, it's very reasonable, and it's still on the ground floor, but that's it,
It's growing.
Yeah, it's growing fast. I mean, we literally added two men to the program in one day last week. And I don't know, it grows by 3 or 4 guys every week, just about, because God's doing something. We believe that we're seeing the fulfillment of Isaiah 4:1. If you go back and read that verse, and we believe that we're going to be the people leading the charge. It's not enough to tell people that it's okay to do this, that God's okay with it. You have to tell them how, right? Because we live in a monogamy-only world, right? So you can get yourself in all kinds of problems. You can get yourself in legal trouble. You can get, problems in your home. We see a lot of guys that they run out and sleep with a girl while they're married. We never tell their wife this is what they believe. And next thing you know, they're trying to bring her in, and the woman's like, what? We deal with a lot of situations, and we want to help people avoid those. Let's start right. Let's go back and start right. And then, it's a lot easier than trying to unfix all these problems that people have. So that's kind of the heart behind the program. I don't know if that was your question, wasn't your question, but I do have high hopes for the coaching program, because I see the value already for the men that are in there and the women. And I believe it's got the potential to grow into something really, really big. But for now, that social media marketing and my New Year's Eve event are my primary source of income, which enables me to work from here. She's an online fitness coach. If anybody doesn't know, she's an online personal trainer, basically. Thank you, Randy. If that's what God wants, sure. I don't know if I would be able to manage all that, but 4 maybe max. I'd like to start with maybe 1 more, but again, even that to me, I'm not sure if I'll have a second. I believe God will do that, but before this, and this is what frustrates me sometimes about people, is they don't know my track record. Before this, God told me about polygyny. I was sexual purity was my platform. I wrote books on it. I had the #1 video in the world, 10 reasons not to have sex before marriage. And, I was resigned to being single and abstinent for the rest of my life, if that's what God called me to. I was, basically abstinent for like 13 years straight. For the first 6 years of my Christianity, no sex, no dating. I would just put it in neutral and I waited on God. It was very difficult because I was a 27-year-old man. And I had a lot of options, there was a lot of girls that wanted to date and sleep with me, but God didn't give me the green light to date anybody. So I didn't. And then the last 13 years, it was basically the same thing. Now I did make two mistakes and a couple close calls in between, but it was, 99.9% of those nights and days I was alone, and I had very strong boundaries in order to do that. And I said to myself and to God many times, if this is what you want, I'll do it. I'll stay single and sexless for the rest of my life. And I gave up, building a family all those years. So I'm very surrendered to God, okay, to the utmost. And in this case, if God wants me to just have sauna for the rest of my life, I'm great with that. If he wants me to have more, I'm great with that. It's a matter of what he wants, not what I want. Somebody asked me today, like, would your wife, any future wives have to be bisexual? And because I posted some things about, I don't believe there's, Leviticus 18, there's no prohibition of girl on girl. It doesn't mean I'm not saying that that's what I'm going to do. I'm just saying, stating the obvious of what I can see. And I said, no, of course not. No, the only qualifier is if God says yes. If he says yes to the woman, that's the only qualifier for her to come in my home. Not anything else, not kids, not age, not, sexual orientation. I mean, obviously she's got to be attracted to me, but it's what God says. That's it. So I don't know if that's how y'all are making your decisions, but that's what I would recommend, is everything's got to be through him. And if you're not sure what he's saying, fast. Just don't eat for a day or two and it'll become clear. So, and that's actually part of the advice that we give in the program. So when men are fleshing out their vision for their lives, we have them do a 24-hour fast before, because they're asking God. Your mission and your vision comes from God. It's not about, this is where people make mistakes too. I'll just real quick, is they think, what do I like? What makes me happy? That's not your mission. Your mission is, where can I bring value to the world? The mission is about other people. It's about the gifts that God gave you for the benefit of others. It's not about what makes you happy. And this is why I think people have a hard time finding purpose, is because they're asking what makes me happy and what do I like? It's not about that. It's about, where do you add value without even thinking about necessarily money? I mean, yes, you need to make money off of it too, but where can I just ease some pain, or where do I see a problem that needs to be fixed that I'm passionate about fixing? And then if you start working in that direction, I believe everything else just falls into place. Sorry, I went down a rabbit hole there, but thank you for that call for wisdom. Absolutely. So much to prattle to say his wife dictates. Okay, John, I'm not going to give you all any attention. Okay, Ryan said, address the feminist comment. I think I already did that, Ryan. If I missed something, let me know. Again, my wife is the furthest thing from a feminist there is. All right, let's see. This is great. I love this question here. How do I find a church that accepts the idea of multiple wives? I was something I was praying about this morning, and I don't know if God's doing anything, but I miss having a faith community since God's led me to this truth. I know there are a lot of people out there that believe what we believe, and they don't have faith communities. it's a lot of richness that I got from being connected to people that believe what I believe, and, locking arms and trying to, do something for the world together. And I miss that. And I don't know how to fix that, to be honest, except to start a church, start a patriarchal red pill church, which is a possibility. I'm not a preacher, but I would love to be involved in that. And maybe it starts off with just home churches, ecclesias, people gathering in their homes. But I do believe that there's a huge need for this, because if you saw the kind of men that we have entering the program, and ladies, this is just as much for you as anybody else. We got some studs, like top tier men that are coming into the program that are looking for wives. They're not fuck boys. They're not looking to just hook up with you, and they're not the scraps either, that you may be finding in your churches. These are like top tier men that are coming to an understanding and a belief in biblical marriage, and they're looking to marry women for their entire life, protect and provide. We believe everything the Bible says. So sometimes men come in the program and they're talking about getting divorced from the wife. They even heard from these monogamy-only pastors why they're justified in leaving their wives. And I'm like, yeah, that's what monogamy does, because it's only a two-seater. So you're a lot quicker to replace the girl or the woman in that seat next to you if she's not everything you want. Under polygyny, it's a different story. Biblically, if you want to do this right, unless she's an adulterer or she's worshiping another god, you can't divorce her. It doesn't mean you should compromise on what you want. If you believe that this is your biblical right, you got to stand in that. And there's a way to do that. But it's ironic that people, and this is why the divorce rate's so high, because it's in the monogamy only world, they'll sign off on a divorce easy. I mean, there's people in leadership in my old churches, and I know that were divorced unbiblically. It wasn't because of the wife being unfaithful. And, there's no problem for them to be a deacon. So we're untangling some of those lies and some of that false doctrine in the program, a lot of it. But yeah, I don't know. Thank you. To answer your question, how do you find a church? Man, I don't know. If you find one, let me know. We may start one. If you would be interested in us starting a patriarchal, pro-polygyny church, drop a 1 in the comments, the number 1. I want to see how many people watch this video that would be in support of that. And I may even circle back with you if we get some movement there. Because I do have a need for it in my own life. I miss it. I see the void in the market, and I'd love to know what kind of interest we have out there if you would join a church like that. All right, let's see here. Here's one. Somebody said, Online Money Holy Assembly of Christ in Southeast Texas. I'm going to check that out. Thank you so much for this comment. Yes, survivor. The church fosters jealousy. I wonder which one that was. Go with Jesus. Thank you for that comment, though, brother. We got a lot of ones coming in. I knew there was a need for this, a market for it. We'll see. Pray about it, please. Something that I've been praying about for a while is just community. I've even thought about, maybe we buy a piece of land somewhere, and maybe people will move. And this is how cults start. Actually, I don't mean it like that. I mean, people would, just move into the area. But I do miss having other people to do life with, families with. I mean, even in my own friend group, it's caused this topic has caused. I don't want to say that my real friends have stuck with me, but I could tell they're like not sure what to do with me, because they're hearing it from all sides from other people. Rob's crazy. Rob lost it. He's talking about all this, blah, blah, blah. Like, so I feel a little bit bad for them, and they've stuck by me, my real friends, not everyone. But I could tell there's something, there's like a difference in our relationship now, because I think, some of them are married, some of them have girlfriends, and I know, they may have differing views and be like, I don't want you hanging around Rob, because they don't want this thought getting into their head. I mean, women, they don't want the competition. you know, that they're happy holding the power. The monogamy only gives women a lot of power, and they don't want that challenged. So it's definitely caused a little bit of a wedge between me and some friendships, and hope you know, if we had a faith community of people that believe this, I believe, yeah, it would be very successful, and it would be very fulfilling, and it would just fill my cup. So anyway, I think that's about it. Okay. All right, guys, that's it. We'll do this again. I'm going to try to do at least one every week with Sana. And as we continue to walk this out, whether we ever end up in a biblical marriage or not, maybe we never do. But as we explore the idea, things like this are going to come up that may help other people. Fill out the application in the link if you'd like to know more about the coaching program. And see you on the next video. Peace.